Our story begins on Yautja Prime, a world ruled by hunters, where strength decides destiny and weakness means death. On this brutal planet, the Yautja reigns supreme. Every creature that walks, crawls, or flies here knows one truth. The Yautja are the ultimate predators. A colossal ship hovers above the crimson skies of the planet inside. A young warrior named Ki is on a mission. Not a hunt, but a search. He's looking for his brother, Dek, a reckless fighter with something to prove. Ki eventually finds him cloaked under an invisibility field, hiding like prey. But before words can be exchanged, Dek strikes first. The brothers clash in a furious battle. Blades flash, roars echo through the halls, and sparks dance off their armor. Dek tries to prove he's stronger, faster, worthy of respect. But Ki deflects every attack with ease. One brutal counter sends Dek tumbling into a deep trench below. When Dek climbs back out, panting and bloodied, he believes he's finally ready to become a full Yautja. But Ki, calm and stern, tells him the truth. He's not ready yet. There's more to being a hunter than strength. With that, Ki walks away, leaving Dek with a burning desire to prove himself. Later, inside the ship, Dek stumbles upon a small metal figurine, a token of childhood, something Ki had kept for him. When Ki sees him holding it, he smiles faintly and tells him it's a gift, his own ship. But it's not just a toy, it's a test. To join a clan, every Yautja must hunt a worthy prey and bring back its head as proof, or never return. As Dek begins his search for prey, Ki scans the stars and spots a deadly world, Planet Janna, known across galaxies as the Death Planet. Home to the unkillable beast Kalisk, a monster feared by all species. Dek, desperate to prove himself, declares he'll hunt Kalisk and return victorious. But Ki warns him, failure means death. Dek doesn't care. He's determined to show their father that he's not weak. Before they can leave, their father arrives in his massive warship, a towering figure of authority and cruelty. He asks Ki a single question. Why is your brother still alive? To him, Dek is a disgrace, a stain on their bloodline. He orders Ki to kill him on the spot. When Dek tries to fight back, their father traps him in a powerful device. But Ki can't do it. Instead of obeying, he smashes the device, locks Dek inside the ship, and sends him away, saving his brother but dooming himself. Their father turns on Ki, furious at the betrayal. The two clash, father against son, strength against honor. But their father wields dark, ancient magic, turning invisible. Striking from nowhere, Ki fights valiantly, but is ultimately overpowered. From within the ship, Dek watches helplessly as his father kills Ki. In his final moments, Ki uses a remote to launch Dek's ship toward Planet Janna, his last words echoing in Dek's ears, "Bring it home." The ship races through space. Dek awakens to the sound of impact alarms as asteroid fragments batter the hull. He crashes through the dense, fog-covered forests of Planet Janna, a world alive with death. The ground itself seems to breathe danger. Crawling out of the wreckage, rage burns in Dek's eyes. His father murdered his brother. Now he'll make this planet his proving ground. He swears to bring victory home for Ki. As he explores, he inspects his weapons, blades, explosives, traps, but soon realizes the planet itself wants him dead. The roots beneath his feet begin to move. The trees twist, attack, and strangle anything nearby. Dek fights them off, slicing through the living vines before barely escaping. The jungle is endless, filled with skeletons of fallen beasts. Even the air tastes poisonous. In the heart of this wilderness, Dek finds a girl, Thea, trapped within thick, constricting plants. Before he can react, something hurls a rock nearby, triggering the forest to attack again. Thea pleads for help, but Dek growls that a Yautja hunts alone. Still, his instincts betray him, and he saves her. Moments later, he's hit by a venomous root and collapses. As a monstrous creature moves in for the kill, Thea fights back and saves him, proving she's no ordinary human. When Dek wakes, he demands to know who she is. Thea explains that she's a bioengineered human, created by the Weyland-Yutani Corporation to study the planet's ecosystem. She reveals the grim truth. Many Yautja have come before, but none have survived Kalisk. She offers to guide him, if he takes her with him. At first, Dek refuses, but when his navigation system breaks, he reluctantly agrees. The unlikely duo sets out through the deadly wilderness. Thea talks endlessly, asking questions, trying to understand the hunter beside her. Dek remains silent, focused only on his mission. He ties her to himself with a vine so they won't lose each other in the storm ahead. As lightning tears the sky apart, they find shelter. Thea tells him she's been stranded for 2 years. Her partner, Tessa, disappeared during an expedition after a creature attack. She still believes Tessa is alive. Far away, Tessa is alive, now working under Weyland-Yutani, assigned to capture both Kalisk and the Yautja. Meanwhile, Dek and Thea continue their perilous trek. During a hunt, Dek is injured by razor-sharp grass and ambushed by a small alien creature. They fight, but their battle is cut short when a massive monobug attacks, capturing them both. The small creature, despite its fear, helps Dek escape, sacrificing itself to save him. Dek slaughters the beast in a brutal fight, earning Thea's respect. That night, the three, Dek, Thea, and the small creature, now named Bud, sit around a fire. Thea jokes that they'd make a great team. Dek chuckles for the first time, saying he liked the part where he cut the creature's head clean off. He admits he once had a brother, but his father killed him for being weak. That's why he's here, to hunt Kalisk and prove himself worthy. Thea tells him she's searching for her sister, Tessa, not realizing the danger waiting ahead. Days later, Tessa discovers Dek's crashed ship and studies his weapons, realizing how advanced the Yautja truly are. Back in the wild, Thea insists on keeping Bud with them, but Dek refuses. A Yautja hunts alone. As they travel, they stumble upon Kalisk's tooth near a roaring waterfall. Dek takes it as a sign. His prey is near. They talk by the water. Thea tells him that on Earth, the alpha wolf doesn't kill the most. He protects the pack. But Dek growls, "Then I'll be the alpha who kills the most." They press on and soon reach Kalisk's den, surrounded by hundreds of mangled corpses. The air reeks of blood and death. Thea finds her mechanical legs among the debris, remnants of her past mission, and reattaches them, finally able to stand again. Dek, burning with vengeance, declares, "Today I become Yautja." But Thea warns him she's called her company. They're coming. Their goal isn't to kill Kalisk, it's to capture it. Furious, Dek storms off, accusing her of betrayal. As he burns their base, the ground trembles. Kalisk has arrived. What follows is chaos. The monster is colossal, skin like stone, eyes that burn with fire. Dek attacks first, slicing deep, but the wounds close instantly. Kalisk regenerates, swats Dek aside, and crushes Thea's legs again. Despite the hopeless fight, Dek refuses to surrender. He chains Kalisk, leaps from its tail onto its skull, and slices its head clean off, only for it to grow back seconds later. Then, explosions. Tessa arrives, freezing both Kalisk and Dek with experimental tech. When Dek wakes, he's chained in a facility, face to face with Tessa. Thea is alive but subdued, her body under Tessa's control. Tessa taunts Dek, calling him a defective predator. She injects a neural serum into him, attempting to control his mind. Thea tries to stop her, pleading that this isn't what they came for, but Tessa ignores her. Thea finally rebels, turning off the machines and shouting that they're not monsters. Tessa, cold and emotionless, replies, "Mother made us with emotions so we could exploit creatures better." She orders Thea to be locked away, but when a guard forces Thea to inspect Dek's device, she triggers it, causing a massive explosion. Amid the chaos, she screams, "Run!" as Dek falls into the waters below. Wounded and enraged, Dek drags himself back to his ship. Inside, he finds Key's armor, engraved with a wolf insignia. He dons it, symbolizing rebirth. He's no longer the weak brother. He's the hunter now. He forges new weapons from the jungle itself. Bone, stone, and Yautja tech combined. then infiltrates the enemy base. As alarms blare, Dek moves like a shadow, killing soldiers silently, one by one. Thea's mechanical legs, now remote-controlled, ambush guards and rescue her from captivity. Bud joins the fight, ripping through soldiers with primal fury. Meanwhile, Tessa prepares to launch Kalisk into space for experimentation. She claims the Yautja are obsolete, a failed species. Dek storms the lab. Thea, now free, joins him. She's overjoyed he came back. Bud appears too, revealing a heartbreaking truth. Kalisk is his mother. Thea begs Dek to free her, but time is running out. The base prepares for liftoff in 20 minutes. Dek plans his final strike. He ambushes the soldiers, using his newly crafted weapons to cut through them like paper. Tessa descends in a massive mech suit, firing plasma blasts. Dek dodges, counters, and leaps onto the machine, tearing cables out. Kalisk breaks free, roaring in vengeance, and crushes Tessa's mech. But before peace can come, Tessa, half dead, triggers a freeze device. The explosion kills Kalisk in front of Bud's eyes. Screaming, Bud lunges and tears Tessa's head clean off. Dek embraces Bud as Thea watches, tears in her eyes. Together, they escape the
crumbling base. Back on Yautja Prime, Dek returns home. He kneels before his father, places Kalisk's severed head at his feet, and demands his cloak. But his father only sneers, ordering his guards to kill him. Dek moves faster than ever, slicing through every soldier in seconds. Then, father and son face each other one last time. The battle shakes the ground. His father cloaks himself, vanishing, but Dek uses his ship's engines to stir the dust, revealing his outline. One final strike, a clean kill. As his father lies dying, he mutters, "You've earned the right to lead the clan," but Dek replies, "I have my own clan." Behind him, Thea and Bud stand tall, the hunter, the human, and the creature, bound not by blood, but by survival. Dek takes his cloak, now a true Yautja, and turns toward the horizon as a new ship descends from the sky. The shadow of a woman, his mother, steps out. The screen fades to black. End of story.